feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Boca Raton Shrimp Tank. This is the post-show wrap-up. We had Scott, Eddy on our episode today. Talked for almost an hour on this podcast episode. You can check it out on iTunes, as well as now on iHeartRadio, as well as the Boca Raton Shrimp Tank Podcast.com. Here in this Shrimp Tank studio in Boca, we're really fortunate. We get to interview some of the best and brightest entrepreneurs in and around Boca Raton, Florida. And the guest today, I think he spreads his wings a little bit. He gets to travel to a lot of different countries. And Scott, tell the audience, a little bit about yourself as an entrepreneur and also what's going on this fall. You have a lot of exciting things going on in business, right?
Yeah, so I do a lot in the tourism world, and I travel full time. I do social media campaigns for big brands, destinations, cruise lines. I build out digital strategies and do a lot of consulting on the digital side and the social media side, and I speak at a lot of conferences. And most recently, my publicist brought a new deal to me, and I just signed on to be the TV host for a new travel series that's coming out on Lifetime, Video Globetrotter, and it comes out this fall.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I follow you on Instagram and excited to see, your adventure coming up in the fall. Roland, what were your thoughts about today's episode?
I really enjoyed listening to Scott talk about his travels, and really what I wanted to ask him was, what is the most favorite place he's lived overseas, and where would he like to not go back again?
My favorite place by default is always going to be Thailand. I would move back to Bangkok in 1 second if I could. It's my favorite place on the planet because for me, I can't be in a small town. I have to be in a big city with things going on and people and opportunities and this and that. But I like nice people. And in the States, unfortunately, you have to sacrifice those things. If you want to be in a big city, you're not going to be around the kindest people in the world. Bangkok has the best of both worlds, and they do that with 13 million people. So that's the recipe for success in my book.
Yeah. And today we have an alumni from FAU, Brian Rammel, in the studio. Brian, what were your thoughts about today's episode?
Thanks for having me on again, Mr. Jason. Great episode. Always a pleasure to sit down and talk with Mr. Scott Eddy. My question for him would be, where can I catch Video Globetrotter at?
So it's going to be coming on Lifetime this fall, and it's also going to be, the episodes are also going to be online because I have a heavy audience overseas, and I'll be sharing where and when it's going to be shown very aggressively all over my social, which I think you follow me, right?
Absolutely. We'll be tuned in.
Well, with that in mind, how do people follow you? What is, your @ symbol? On Instagram, on Twitter? How can they watch all these great scenes you're about to, go into?
It's Mr. Scott Eddy on all platforms, and my website's mrscotteddy.com.
Well, Scott, thanks again for coming out to the Shrimp Tank today.
Thanks for having me.
For the audience listening, we'll be back here again at 4 o'clock every Tuesday. Catch all these different great episodes again on iTunes, iHeartRadio, as well as the Boca Raton Shrimp Tank Podcast.com. Take care, all.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp